prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is que-pasa-Nashville.
Bienvenidos and welcome to que-pasa-Nashville. My name is Cristina Allen and thank you for joining us. My guests include Reed Hummel with the Nashville Opera and our dear friend Marcela Gomez, thank you very much, who's a Hispanic marketing consultant with the opera and all these arts group. And it's really exciting what's going on in Nashville when it comes to the music and the arts and the Latin flair that's just kind of springing up everywhere. So thank you both for being on the show. The opera is celebrating a Latino cultural event next starting in January. Tell me about this opera and the collaboration that's been taking place.
Well, our artistic director, John Holmes, was familiar with the work and knew Daniel Catan quite well, and they talked about actually performing it for the first time in Nashville ever several years ago.
And performing the show?
Florencia en el Amazonas.
And it was written by Daniel Catan, who is a Houston native who's been commissioned
Actually,
from
Mexico.
Mexico City.
Yes.
Okay, but it was commissioned by
the Houston and the LA operas.
Okay.
Yes.
They have a very, very large Latino community, and they thought that work would be significant culturally through the community. And Nashville Opera shares the same commitment, deep commitment to making sure that our Nashville Opera is relevant to the entire community. It's the entire community's opera company. And so we wanted to make sure that we were doing works which are relevant to all areas of our community. And this was the first time we had an opportunity to do a Spanish language opera. And we just couldn't wait to put it on stage. And so that's how the collaboration started.
And with this collaboration, what made you choose this artist? Is there others, or this is the one that's been the most significant to the Mexican Americans and the Mexican community here?
There are other Spanish language operas out there. There are not a lot of them, but this was one that we felt was the most accessible. It's a beautiful story. The music is lush and very engaging and approachable. And so we thought that it would be just the right show, the right opera for the community to really get behind and embrace, especially the whole element of the magical realism that's included in it. We saw all sorts of visual elements coming together with it, and that's how the collaboration really started with the visual arts community, along with Vanderbilt University and the educational community. So we want to make sure it was a community-wide effort.
So, Marcela, kind of tell me about Florencia en el Amazonas, and have you been able to see it yet, or parts of it?
Not yet. I'll be able to see it in January like everybody else. But although Daniel Catan is from Mexico and he has this collaboration, the opera is based on Gabriel Garcia Marquez and his magical realism stories. So it's more than Mexican American story, and it's for obviously all the Latinos in the United States and now in Nashville. The collaboration started when I got a phone call from the Nashville Opera saying we would like to hire you and work with us to get the word out about not only the opera but also an art call that was made to incorporate the community, like Reed was saying. So this is an opera for everybody in the community, but we wanted to incorporate the arts, and obviously through Gabriel Garcia Marquez and magical realism. And so we partner with Conexión Américas and with the arts company, the gallery downtown on 5th Avenue, and made an art call to all the artists in Middle Tennessee. And so we sent information out and said, we would like you to participate and submit art of any kind, is it performing arts or film or photography or whatever they wanted to submit to us, so that it would be exhibit during the first Saturday of January.
Now, was there a correlation with the opera?
Yes.
There had to be some eligibilities and some, okay.
Yes, so the art call included that it had to relate to magical realism,
okay.
Which started with literature. It's also part of the art world, and also it had to do with, it had to be a Latino artist or a Latino experience. If someone had a Latino experience and now currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee, or had lived here in the last 4 or 5 years. We want them to bring all this together, which we're very excited to see, because we have no idea how the artist is going to bring Florencia en el Amazonas, Nashville, Tennessee, magical realism, and their own experience.
And that must be exciting for you and your company, because taking this risk, you know that's a growing population, it's a growing viewership, and it's the arts, which transcends into everybody.
Right.
So when you got some of these artists, I know some of the artists that that you have brought in some amazing work. So, and they're going to be exhibit with the art company.
Yes.
So Anne Brown with the art company is going to have it in January. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, she's curating the work. And so we actually received 22 submissions from different artists, which we were very excited that all of them wanted to participate. And so I think our first thought was let's let everybody participate, and then and obviously the curator of the show said, well, we don't have enough space for everybody. So her team chose 9 artists, and the exhibit will open January 3rd at the Arts Company at 6 p.m. during the first art crawl of 2015. And it'll be at the Arts Company for a week, and then it'll go to the lobby at TPAC when Florencia en el Amazonas will be performing.
And in the performance run January 23rd, 25th, and 27th, so not only would we encourage people to see the opera, but also come and see the artwork prior to in the lobby.
Absolutely.
And then the art's taken to the Opera House, your Nashville Opera.
I think it's going to Casa-Safran first.
It's going to Casa-Safran first, and then it'll go to the Nashville Opera House.
So working in this community with the artists, Conexión Americas, tell me, what was the role of the Vanderbilt Center for Latin Studies?
Well, they were the ones that kind of helped us kick off the whole idea of collaboration. They were looking at it from an educational standpoint, and they submitted a couple of ideas for panel discussions, for movie viewings that related to magical realism, and they're ongoing. There's some going on.
Currently, and it's continuing.
Yeah, if you go to the Vanderbilt University website, they have some of these different lectures, and they're free. And so we had a long discussion about not only that aspect of magical realism and Daniel Catan and celebrating Latino culture in Nashville. That's when we said, well, what if we did something visual with the visual artists, because it's such a vibrant community. We have great artists in this town. That's when we talked to Anne Brown, and all 3 players kind of came together to start this giant collaboration, which is now community-wide.
So in doing so, are you going to be able to do anything for the school children through the HOT program, or is it more or less just for performances for adults in the evening?
We do have group sales available for educational purposes, and they just need to call our box office about that. There are a limited number of tickets that we're going to be playing in the Polk Theater, but there certainly are those possibilities.
I didn't know if the Center for Nonprofit was reaching out to the teachers to take it down to the students, but I'm sure that will come in future events or so.
We have contacted every Spanish-speaking teacher in metro schools about this.
To try to bring, that's exciting. All 3 of my daughters are in Spanish classes in metro schools, and
Wonderful.
so, we'll see where it comes about, because you want to share with your family the culture, even those, my husband's from here, the beauty of the arts in different languages. So I think having not even Hispanic or everyone see the beauty of the language, because I believe that you're going to have, the songs are in Spanish.
Everything is in Spanish, and
but
we will have English subtitles,
see,
yes, which is amazing.
Hey, how many times have we gone to the opera and heard Italian or something?
Yes,
so, so
and I do want to mention that the opera has a partnership with Conexión Americas, and so, several times a year the opera goes to Conexión Americas at Casa-Safran and does performances for the kids as well and for the entire community. This was another step for them to bring the community to them, which was the perfect way of doing it, is reaching out and bringing the people in. So now we hope that the Latino community will embrace what the opera is about, even if it's not only in Spanish, just everything else that happens throughout the year.
And you see that the arts, the music, is what first transcends and breaks the barriers of all culture barriers, is the music. And so having this initiative, I think, is strong. I remember at least 15 years ago when TPRAC brought in Canciones de mi Padre, I believe, from Chicago group, and had it and we were able to try to do outreach, but it's a slow process, and there's a lot of people that enjoy the opera, so it's very exciting. I want to take it a little bit back. Tell me a little bit more about the storyline of the opera, because I think we need to share how he came about the story, the love, the Amazon River. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It's loosely based on love in the year of cholera. Daniel Catan's student helped write the libretto, but the story is really about a soprano and the love of her life, a man who was a butterfly catcher, and when she was younger and they were an item, very romantically connected, she desperately wanted to go off and see the world and become this major opera star. And he agreed that she should go off and seek her dreams, and he decided to stay and do what he did, and that was catch butterflies in the Amazon. And so she went off and performed in the great opera houses all around the world and became a major star, but there was an emptiness in her heart. And so she decided that she needed to go back and find this man. She hadn't talked to him since she left. And so it's a story that takes place on a little riverboat that starts in Colombia and travels up the Amazon towards Manaus. And there are other characters on the ship in various stages of love or falling out of love or seeking love. And the boat finally makes it to Manaus, but they won't let her off because of the cholera epidemic.
Oh.
And so she doesn't actually get to see the love of her life.
You told us the
It's
ending.
okay. It's okay. Opera, it's fine with opera. Knowing the ending is fine.
You gotta cry, love, laugh. But the storylines that he wrote, I mean, that's what makes this significant. Obviously, all in Spanish, but the beauty of the words that he's put together and the music for this performance, I think, is what's going to grasp it in what I've read. So, Reed, Marcel, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back and continue talking with the Nashville Opera about the collaboration they're doing in January that reaches out to the Latino community. We'll be right back.